English dictation 120 words per minute. 5 seconds. Start. Every organization has a duty to employ all its factors of production to the best advantage. Major projects would invoice use of the organizational resources to a substantial extent and reduce the commitment of such resources to unsound activity to the unavoidable minimum. Paragraph. Resources should not be allocated according to emotions of the relative strengths or weaknesses of the individuals, divisional heads, or the most profitable activity in terms of past profits contributions. It must be a principle of good management that all the resources are employed carefully so as to achieve the objectives of the company. This assumes importance at the time of taking a capital investment decision may by maybe diversification or vertical and integration or expansion. There is thus a need for a rational and formal approach in process of project identification. Paragraph. A formal system of corporate planning therefore should invoice continuous identification of new project and should also suggest the precious timing for implementation of these projects. This would ensure that the company would move along with its chosen strategic path towards its objectives. Paragraph. It must be made clear at the outset that a formal planning approach should evolve and develop criteria over a period of time suited to an individual company, its culture and objectives. The guidelines given are broad and general in nature. Paragraph. Projects identification is increasingly becoming a complicated area. This is because of several reasons, basically arising out of rapid changes in the environment in which a company operates. Fast changes in technology, new research and innovations, and changes in the taste of customers can turn a fast selling products into the obsolete one in few years. It would be difficult for a company to scan the environment unless it develop a formal system for the purpose of project identification. Paragraph. In order to start this process, it is essential to access the likely amount of cash that would be available for the purpose of future investment over a period of next 2 to 3 years. This cash may be available either through the internal cash accruals generated from the existing operations of the company or fresh sources of cash. Paragraph. In either of the cases, a realistic estimates of cash occurrence in each of the next 10 to 12 quarters should be made. This would give an indication of the size of the projects a company could think. At the same time, the company should analyze the balance sheet of the existing activities, the present position of the company in terms of borrowed money, and its net worth would give an indication about the likely availability of finance from financial institutions. Paragraph. Normally, financial institutions insist upon a certain debt equity ratio and would accept the promoters to contribute a certain percentage of the total project costs. These two indicators would give an idea about the size of projects. At the same time, the company should also make certain basic decisions